Hello, I'm Johnny. Today's topic is the Kings becoming the biggest winners of this season. Can you accept the reason for Green's suspension? The Lakers lost, and Timberwolves' Anthony Edwards and Nuggets' Jamal Murray put on a scoring show.
No vest.
Let's get straight to the first piece of news. Kings head coach Mike Brown has received the Coach of the Year recognition. It's worth noting that he's the first coach in history to be unanimously chosen for this award. If fans recall the 2015-16 season, Warriors' Stephen Curry won his second MVP title unanimously as well. To achieve such a feat is not easy, considering the numerous voters with varying opinions. However, that year, Curry made 402 three-pointers, and the team set a historical best with 73 regular season wins, making the unanimous decision unquestionable. As for Mike Brown, this is his first season as the Kings head coach. Last season, the team only managed 30 wins, while this season they secured 48 victories. Not only did they increase their wins by 18 games, but Brown also led the team to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years. Additionally, the Kings' offensive firepower was the best in the league this season. So, with both attention-grabbing storylines and strong performance, Mike Brown received unanimous approval for Coach of the Year. Let's take a look at the total scores, with Mike Brown ranking first and receiving a perfect 500 points. It's worth noting that the Thunder's head coach is ranked second. This placement makes sense, as this season, the Thunder's second overall draft pick Chet Holmgren was out for the entire season. Generally, the Thunder was expected to be near the bottom of the Western Conference, but they only confirmed their summer break after playing 2 tiebreaker games. In addition, SGA not only made it to the All-Star game this season, but he should also have no problem securing a spot in the top 3 annual teams. Therefore, the Thunder's head coach ranks second in total points. Congratulations to him. Meanwhile, the Celtics head coach takes third place. That wraps up the Coach of the Year segment. Before moving on to the next topic, please help us by liking our video. Your encouragement is our biggest motivation for creating content, and we truly appreciate your support. Next, we'll discuss the Kings, as De'Aaron Fox received the Clutch Player of the Year award yesterday. This year, his performance in crucial moments has been outstanding, whether it was against the Clippers, Magic, or Bulls. He has demonstrated clutch plays in every game. In fact, he was also selected for the All-Star game this year. In my opinion, he has a good chance of being named to one of the top 3 annual teams. It has been a fruitful year for De'Aaron Fox. Looking at the total scores, De'Aaron Fox got 460 points, and the gap between him and the second-place Jimmy Butler is quite significant. In third place is the Bulls' DDR, and in fourth place is Jalen Brunson, whom our assistant Fred really likes, although he is a Suns fan. Other All-Star players, including Jason Tatum, Stephen Curry, and Nikola Jokic, received votes but scored relatively low. Fans may wonder what constitutes a clutch moment: scoring. The answer I found is the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter and any overtime, with scores within 5 points counting as clutch points. According to foreign media data, De'Aaron Fox scored a total of 194 clutch points this season, ranking first in the league. DDR is second, and the Heat's Jimmy Butler is third. This information is for fans' reference, so indeed, the Kings are the big winners this season. Both in terms of individual awards and team performance, congratulations to the Kings fans. Next, let's talk about the Warriors' Draymond Green. Many people have commented on my Instagram that the league said Green was suspended because of his past transgressions, and that's why he was suspended. This is not a problem. In short, if you're a model citizen like Stephen Curry, you may not be suspended. However, I believe Stephen Curry wouldn't make such a move or provoke fans on the scene. We need to clarify that when the NBA Deputy Commissioner Joe Dumars spoke to the media, he said that if other players made such a move, the punishment might be different. However, the behavior itself would still be subject to serious scrutiny. Furthermore, after stepping on someone's chest and considering his subsequent actions and his status as a repeat offender, these are the reasons why Green was suspended. Additionally, Joe Dumars said that, in essence, it was excessive and inappropriate behavior coupled with being a repeat offender that led to his suspension. The core issue is that the action itself is problematic, and since he is a repeat offender, he was suspended. Joe Dumars also said that Green's behavior of provoking fans at the scene affected the suspension decision. He believes that provoking fans is entirely avoidable. Finally, he mentioned that the NBA chairman was at the game that day, which led to the league's decision to suspend Green. I wonder what your thoughts are on this. My own thoughts are pretty simple. If you're not a model citizen of the league, you need to be extra careful when making certain moves. This is like how we now pay special attention to the Grizzlies' Dillon Brooks. The same foul moves, but we feel like he does it on purpose. Here's another example. If Pudge gets injured, we would joke about it, saying, "Pudge got injured again, didn't he?" This is the impression that players leave on fans and even the media. Since Green already has a dark history, he must be extra cautious when doing many things. Otherwise, suspension will hurt both him and his team. I hope that after today, this matter can be put to rest. In short, when the suspension has become a reality, it's time to move forward. I'll also put the link to Joe Dumars' interview in the information section for those interested. Now let's focus on the games. The Bucks' Giannis didn't play today, but the team still managed to defeat the Heat 138-122 at home, tying the series 1-1. In this game, the Bucks led by as many as 26 points at halftime, 81-55. After 3 quarters, they even extended their lead to 33 points, 118-85. Although the Heat managed to narrow the gap in the fourth quarter with Duncan Robinson and Victor Oladipo's combined scoring efforts, the Bucks secured the victory in the final moments of the game with Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton hitting 3 consecutive three-pointers. Let's first talk about the Heat, as Tyler Herro got injured, giving Duncan Robinson an opportunity to start. In this game, Robinson scored 14 points, all of which were made in the fourth quarter. In fact, the Heat's main players, including Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, didn't play in the fourth quarter, which is understandable for a few reasons. First, the score gap was too wide. Second, the Heat already won the first game, so their short-term goal was achieved. Third, the team had the chance to practice with players who usually don't get much playing time. In reality, the Heat made a 37-20 run in the fourth quarter. Although they couldn't secure a win, from the head coach's perspective, they at least learned which players can be utilized in the upcoming games. For example, Victor Oladipo, who didn't play in the previous game, scored 15 points this time. So even with Herro's injury, the Heat's backcourt is well staffed. Don't forget, this team also has veteran Kyle Lowry. As for the Bucks, it gets more interesting. We discussed in the live broadcast a couple of days ago that the head coach might be in a slightly awkward position. Giannis' fall wasn't a light one, so it would be best to let him rest for a game. However, since the team lost the first game, there might not be room for Giannis to take a break. Today, Giannis didn't play, which I personally think is a good decision in the long run. The Bucks are considered strong championship contenders, meaning the team has a high chance of making it to the NBA Finals in June. However, today is only April 20th, so giving Giannis some rest is understandable. More importantly, the well-rounded Bucks managed to secure a win today. In fact, if Giannis still doesn't feel well, he could take another break in the third game. Next, let's focus on the Lakers versus the Grizzlies game. At one point in the third quarter, the Lakers were trailing their opponent by 20 points. They ultimately lost 93-103 on the road. Fans should know that LBJ and Rui Hachimura combined for 48 points, which is already more than half of the team's total score. As for the performance of other players today, it wasn't really good. The two main forces, AD and D'Angelo Russell, had performances that were even disappointing for fans. Let's first discuss AD. Although he had 5 blocks on the defensive end, his offensive performance was only 4 of 14 shooting, scoring 13 points in the game. Looking at AD's performance, after a screen, he slides down to the paint for a mismatch opportunity. He was initially going for a dunk, but the opponent blocked his shot with a rejection. In another possession, he attempted a one-on-one play in the paint, but it also ended up in a block by the opponent. Honestly, the Grizzlies' help defense was excellent. Although there was a beautiful collaboration with LBJ in the middle of the fourth quarter, it's a fact that AD's performance today was not up to par. Additionally, D'Angelo Russell only made 2 out of 11 shots in this game, scoring just 5 points. Dennis Schroeder didn't score any points, so the Lakers can only blame themselves for this loss. Although LBJ scored 28 points, he only made 1 of 8 three-point attempts. However, from the Lakers' perspective, since they won the first game, returning home with a 1-1 record is definitely acceptable. As for the Grizzlies, their key player Ja Morant did not play. However, from last season until now, the Grizzlies have maintained a good winning percentage even without Morant. In this game, Xavier Tillman Sr. scored 22 points and grabbed 13 rebounds, including 5 offensive boards. JJJ also had a solid performance with 18 points. More importantly, his offensive rebound in the final moments of the fourth quarter helped secure the victory for the team. So, like Giannis, if Morant is injured, he can actually afford to rest for another game. Finally, let's look at the Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. At halftime, the Nuggets led 64-49, a 15-point advantage over their opponent. It seemed like it would be a game with a large point difference, but the Timberwolves launched a 40-23 offensive run in the third quarter. Near the end of the third, when Anthony Edwards scored 2 points, the Timberwolves took the lead. Edwards, who scored 41 points in the game, had 13 points in the third quarter, making him the key player in the comeback. However, in the fourth quarter, it was time for the Nuggets' injured players from last season, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, to shine. At the beginning of the quarter, Porter Jr. scored 6 consecutive points, including a three-pointer. Later in the fourth, although Edwards helped the Timberwolves retake the lead, Porter Jr. quickly responded with a three-pointer, helping the team regain the lead. This shot was assisted by Jamal Murray, who scored 40 points in the game. More importantly, his two step-back three-pointers in the final moments of the fourth quarter helped the Nuggets secure back-to-back wins at home. Although this game was a scoring battle between Anthony Edwards and Jamal Murray, I'd like to point out that the Timberwolves' Twin Towers actually didn't perform poorly. If KAT's field goal percentage were more consistent, the Timberwolves would have had a chance to complete a comeback. In this game, Rudy Gobert played 39 minutes, scoring 19 points. Standing over 7 feet tall, he put a lot of pressure on the Nuggets. Whenever he stood in the paint and other Timberwolves players drove to the basket, the Nuggets faced the dilemma of whether to help on defense. As soon as they did, Gobert could easily score. So my opinion remains unchanged, the Twin Towers aren't that bad, and the difference lies in how the head coach utilizes them. As for the Nuggets, things are relatively simple. Seeing the performance of Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray today, fans should understand why the Nuggets are considered championship favorites. Both players have great scoring abilities and excellent off-the-ball skills. Coupled with Nikola Jokic, who can play both high and low post positions, the Nuggets' offense is quite versatile. Furthermore, Jamal Murray is known for his explosive scoring ability. In the 2020 playoffs, he had 4 games with 40-plus points, including 2 with 50-plus. As long as he stays healthy, he is undoubtedly one of the best second-in-command players in the league.